Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Mattel 6-inch line of Halo figures, Ghost and Elite Officer, which is really cool. This is the first time we've gotten a 6-inch scale vehicle for Halo, and it's the first 6-inch line. Now they're technically not in scale because they're a little bit shorter than they should be, but they're 6-inch figures. So that's good, and the Ghost looks pretty good. The Elite figure, it's basically the exact same as the other Elite figure, the Zealot, with different armor. So any of the problems that one had, this one pretty much has also. Hopefully we can get those worked out as the line progresses. But it's still a pretty cool set. And at a price point of only 30 bucks, you can't beat it. So let's get it off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is the Ghost itself. It measures about 11 inches long, which it seems like it's pretty big, but that's when it's fully extended. This part right here can extend to fit bigger figures. With it closed, it's only, let's say it's about 10. It gives you about an inch overall. I'm not sure. It seems to me to be undersized because when you are in game and there's an Elite in the seat driving this thing, you can't see him over the top at all. They duck down and their head is in here. Now I don't know if that's just because they're able to hunch over a lot more than the figure can. Even the Spartans, which are a lot smaller than the Elites in game, can fit in there very snugly without really having too much exposed other than from the side. And on this figure, the toy, it seems small because they don't come anywhere near fitting underneath that line of sight. So I'm not sure about that. Scale aside, it does look really good. The blue is molded in this kind of pearlescent metallic plastic. We have some different molded colors. We have the seats different, the handlebars. We have all kinds of detail work throughout. You can see the Covenant logos on there, very nicely done. Some paint work throughout for the little energy thing there. The hover pad here. Overall, it looks really, really nice. We do have some articulation in that the guns can aim up and down, so that's pretty cool. These flaps or air brakes or whatever they are, I don't know what they are technically, they can move up and down. And then like I said, it does extend, so you can fit a bigger figure in there, which doesn't look great, but it is doable. And I'm not sure how, if they do end up releasing a grunt figure, how we're going to get him to fit at all with his backpack on there, because even with the Elites, you have to remove some of their armor. So I'm a little hesitant about that, but I'm hopeful. It does come with this display piece because it needs to be levitating. Obviously, that's how the Ghost works. I'm pretty sure originally this was all blue, like the lightning stuff that comes out of the Ghost, which would have been awesome. Turns out on the final release, it's clear. I'm not sure what happened there. It still looks nice, but it is not accurate. It would have been way cooler if it was, like if the bottom part here was clear, but this was all blue. That would have been really nice. Now it is sculpted nicely. It says Halo and has a hexagonal pattern on there. This is all sculpted nicely except for the fact that it's hollow. They're only one side. So this one here, sculpted on this side, hollow on the inside. Same thing for the one in the back here. It's the opposite. It's hollow and then sculpted. And then this one is hollow and then sculpted. So you can only really look at it from one direction. It's generally set up to be a display piece rather than to be put like in an action pose. Because you can only do it from the one side, otherwise it just doesn't look as good. It does have the halo here, but this centerpiece is still hollow. So, you know, it could be better, but then you have to also consider the fact that it's only a $30 set. You get the Ghost and the figure, which is a $20 figure. I mean, you're getting what you pay for. It's definitely a good value, but I don't know, maybe there's a way to work in like a collector bunch of these figures where things are a little bit more fleshed out. I don't know. You can only ask for so much at certain price points, so I can't really complain. These are just things to note. And then on the inside, you do get some detail, not a whole bunch, but it's there. So I'm happy with it. I think the Ghost looks cool. It's just a matter of fitting them in, which you'll be able to see in the photos is a problem. So let's move on to the Elite, which is the Officer, which is one of my favorite looks for the Elite. Let's get that out of the way. I really like this look for the Elite, and they did improve on some of the issues that the Zealot had. For instance, his variation in the armor paint is a little bit more obvious. You can see specifically down here in the thigh, it's the molded plastic, and then you have the painted part up there. This rounded bit is clearly a different shade. It's a little glossier, a little more metallic, so that looks pretty good. We still have some paint throughout. I think we need a little bit more on the Elites because they are a little bit more elaborately designed in the game, and it doesn't come through quite as well as the Spartans do in this format. I don't know if we can do that at the price point, but it'd be nice if they could. He does come with the carbine, which looks really nice. It's basically got all the details I want in the carbine, so I don't really have any complaint. It looks really, really good. The carbine looks nice. It has the weapons peg hole, and he does come with weapons pegs, but I don't know if you really want to put it on his back because he only has the one weapon, and I mean, you can, but it's up to you. So that's nice. He does have that, and that's it for the accessory, so that's fine because he comes with the Ghost. No problem there. He does not have the paint on his shoulders like the other Elite had, so I'm not sure what's up with that. I'm about as big a Halo fan as you can get, short of having an intricate knowledge of every little detail like this. So I don't know if that's supposed to be there or not, but it would be cool if it was, but it's not. The face and head basically the exact same as before. We have the shading that looks okay. Less shading on the head, but it's still there around the eye, so it looks all right. The helmet still connects to the neck, even though it's a smaller helmet, and it falls off very easily. So you have to be a little bit more careful with that. As far the wrist pieces still fall off a little bit too easily. So like I said, there's definitely room for improvement on the Elites, much more so than on the Spartans. As far as the articulation goes, the neck itself is on a ball peg. The head is on a swivel, but you can't do it with the helmet on because it pegs in to the neck. You guys heard me talk about that in the Zealot review. Shoulders have the full range of motion, even with that a little bit bigger armor on there. No problem at all. You have your elbow hinge. Your bicep swivel is in the elbow, but you still get a very small range. So that's not great. And then the wrists still come out at a pretty big angle, pretty severe angle, which makes it very hard to pose him organically. He can just barely hold the carbine. The trigger finger hand kind of pops out, but he can do it, so that's okay. We have our ball peg in the torso, which gives us pretty good range. Goes up and down, side to side, full rotation. This piece, there goes that helmet again. This piece does get in the way, so be aware as you're posing it, you might knock that off. You have a little bit more paintwork underneath there, by the way. And there is more paintwork inside the undersuit. It's very subtle though, so I guess that's all right, but be aware that it is there, so that's a good thing. The hips, they seem to be a little bit better on this one, which it's the same mold, so I'm not sure if this just mold variants or what, but he's got somewhat better range of motion, not a ton. You still have your thigh swivel. The knee has the hinge and the rotation, and then the foot has the hinge in it, which you still can't use without splitting open the calf armor, so that's not great at all. You really can't pose that at all. Then you get a little bit of rotation, but again, you can't pose it. So the Elites are definitely not as strong as the Spartans. When it comes to the figures, they leave a lot to be desired. So I still like them. I'm still going to buy them all. But I really, really hope we see some improvement in the Elites going forward because they're already too small. They're not technically to scale with the Spartans, so that's a downside. And then the fact that it's really hard to pose them, and they just look a little bit more drab than the Spartans. You know, it's still worth what you're paying for it, but it definitely could be better, I think, at the price point. So fingers crossed that happens. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos every single day. We talk about video games, action figures, movies, TV, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you subscribe, and in the meantime, keep collecting.